Hello everyone, I'm Amelia, and today we're talking about the canter and specifically how not to grip with your legs in the canter. This is something that I see a lot of riders do. Let me know in the comments if you tend to grip with your legs. But basically what happens to a lot of riders is that they finally get their horse in the canter and they really want their horse to stay cantering, so they end up like squeezing to keep their horse in the canter. And this is really bad for a couple of reasons, which I'm going to explain in this video. And then I'm going to also give you some tips for how not to grip in the canter. Be sure also to give this video a thumbs up. If you like my channel, it really helps me out. Leave a comment below. Hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified when I post a new dressage video every week. All right, Jack. So first off, I'm going to demonstrate to you why gripping is so bad and what it does to your canter. So I'm just going to, first of all, take my time here, get a nice trot going. It's always important to, whenever you're riding, take your time to get things in order, have a nice contact, have a nice tempo. And then I'm going to prepare for my canter transition as I come to the rail. So now, what a lot of riders do is that they grip with their legs like this. And they draw their legs like up and out of the saddle like this when they're cantering. And this is really bad for a couple of reasons, because you can see how gripping is pitching me forward. Gripping with my leg is also making it so that I'm like bouncing out of the saddle. Like you can see my butt's going bounce, 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 bounce. So you can see that gripping with your lower leg, sorry, Jack. Gripping with your lower leg is really not pretty. It's not nice for the horse. And it locks up your seat and it makes it ineffective to where, like, if your horse is going to break, you don't have anywhere to go. So the way to fix this is that, first of all, just think about while you're walking or even at the halt, find kind of your neutral leg position. Find that position where your heels are down. You should have contact with your calf, but not so much contact with your heel, and certainly not with your spur. So that's kind of neutral leg position. Now, when you ask for the canter, like if I'm going to ask for the right lead canter, my left leg is going to go back and a little bit on him. But it's important that when he picks up the canter, that I take my spur and my lower leg away. Now, I don't take my leg all the way up here. I keep my leg slightly behind the girth in canter position, but I'm not gripping with my leg. So let me demonstrate this to you. I'm going to pick up a nice trot. I'm going to ask for the canter in front of the camera so you can see. What happens is that horses get used to you nagging and gripping, and so you have to kind of break that habit. So there, I asked for the canter. Now when he canters, I'm going to try to push my heels down and really follow the motion in my feet. So your horse will stay cantering much better when you're able to correctly follow the motion. Now let's say like that you find yourself gripping. So I've been cantering for a while and suddenly I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm tipping forward. I'm gripping with my legs. This is bad. Now the first thing to do is to sit back and then release your leg, but give your horse a kick and release again. So let me show you that again. Say you're gripping, you're gripping, you're gripping, you're gripping, you're gripping. First thing, sit back, push your heel down, kick your horse, push your heel down again. So push your heel down, give him a kick, push your heel down again. The reason that that's important is that, say if I'm gripping, now suddenly I take my leg off, that's what happens, is your horse just breaks to the trot. So if you find yourself gripping in the canter, you need to take your leg off, but be ready because your horse is going to break. Because you've been basically making your horse keep cantering by gripping and kicking every step. So when your lower leg comes off, your horse is going to think that they should trot. So you're going to release your leg and then quickly give your horse a bump and then release your leg again. So notice when I gave him that kick, it was kick release. And I gave him a kick that was so quick that it didn't lock up my seat. So I'll show you that one more time to the right. Or sorry, to the left, the other way. Ideally is if you can, first of all, make sure that you can trot without gripping. That's like step one, is just make sure that you can go along here and trot without gripping. And then I'm going to ask for canter where the camera can see what my outside leg does. So when I ask for canter, I'm pushing him into the outside rein, outside leg back canter, and then release my heel a little bit. So my outside leg stays behind the girth, but it was canter and release my heel. Canter and release my heel. Canter and release my heel. So I'm kind of reminding myself all the time, kick, release, kick, release. This really requires that your hips and your seat are independent. So like my hips and my seat are swishing from the back to the front of the saddle. So my seat's going swing, swing, swing. And then I can give them a kick without my hips stopping. Because what I see a lot of people do is that they kick, and at the same time they lean forward and they stop their hips and then their horse stops. So it's really important that when you give your horse that quick kick, that your hips and your seat do not stop following the motion. Good boy, Jack. Now again, if you find that you're like gripping and kicking every step, step one is sit back. Step two, give your horse a kick, right? Because it might be like even there, when you go to shift your weight back, your horse might think that you want them to trot. So shift your weight back and then push your heel down, give them a kick, push your heel down. Good boy. You also notice that when I kick my horse, my hands don't move. So I'm not doing kick and pull, which isn't very nice, but a lot of people do that. So when you do a kick, it's just from your waist down, and that's really important. So if you feel like your horse is just like really lazy and it's hard to keep them in the canter, I recommend doing lots of transitions between trot and canter. So you're going to go trot, forward canter. Get him going where I can push my heels down. Then come back to trot again. And forward canter. Good boy. And you kind of want to get that jump the first stride where the horse really jumps into the canter. And then push your heels down. And canter. Good boy. Good boy. So if you have a horse that's super lazy, do a lot of transitions where they really go quick and forward into the canter rather than trying to keep your horse going the whole time in the canter. Good boy, Jack. Always remember whenever your horse does the right thing to reward them. Good boy. Good job. So I hope that video was helpful. I hope it gave you some ideas for how to stop gripping at the canter. Be sure to check out in the description box. I have a free mini course on rider position that will help you kind of with your leg position and your seat position, because ultimately that's the importance here, is that your seat is independent and able to really follow the motion of the horse.